This boy and girl are going to be well equipped when the time comes to take their places as worthy members of adult society.
Aloha, y'all. This is Daniel Eisenman, the host of the Breaking Normal podcast, where my guests are all invited based on the frequency of synchronicity, all done in person, and all trailblazers in the breaking of all things normal. Aloha, y'all. All right, I'm back at the Breaking Normal podcast after yesterday's roller coaster ride with Steph Hindle. I think the episode will be called God is the Father Now with Steph Hindle. She had us all crying in the studio. First time the producers cried during an episode. And it started us like kind of goofing off like clowns to crying like babies at the end. And it was probably the most potent episode so far. Not putting any pressure on the next guest here at all. I am so happy to be here with Mitch Hash.
Thanks for having me, man. I feel a lot of pressure right now.
Do you really or no?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. It's okay. I don't feel that much. That's what we'll say right now. I might feel more relaxed than ever going into a podcast because yesterday felt like the World Series in a way, and now it's like a new season.
Yeah, and you just had a nice cry, so
yeah, that's true.
That makes you feel pretty nice.
When's the last time you cried?
Really cried. It's actually been a while. Yeah. I have a little tear here and there.
What's the easiest way for you to cry?
The easiest way for me to cry these days? Maybe a song.
A song?
Yeah.
Nice. Any particular song that's made you cry that I should hear?
Recently, no. There's that song by the Avett Brothers. God, what's that song called? I can't think about it. I can't think of it.
All right, well, maybe it'll come. Yavel's been playing a bit of a Jamie archetype recently, so maybe he'll figure
Maybe he'll look that one up.
Yeah. Or it'll hit him intuitively. It's funny you say the Avett Brothers because that's how I know of you originally is the brothers.
Yeah.
And I'm not even 100% certain. All I know is because what I talked about in the podcast yesterday and what a lot about that book Breaking Normal is about my experience with my brothers working together using YouTube to advertise for our retreats. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where or when I came across it, but the strength side, and my understanding was, wow, that's like we're like Rob Ross 2.0, like more. And I don't even know when y'all started compared to when we started. I don't even know y'all's ages compared to our age. We talked about it once, but I'm not remembering it. Yeah. And we can figure that out. But my understanding was like, wow, these three strapping brothers are using YouTube to work together on a passion project that's very healthy for themselves and the world. And now I'm understanding you might not be involved with that currently. Were you originally, or tell us about Strength Side and where you're at now, and maybe your brother's names and ages and whatever else you want to as well.
Yeah, my oldest brother Josh started Strength Side. I don't know the year. It's probably been 10 years now, maybe longer. But he was just fascinated with YouTube. He's a exercise guy. He learned a bunch of stuff on YouTube. And I think
so he was like self-taught through YouTube mostly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he just was stoked, like he would just watch. He had his favorite people and he was just psyched to like get in there himself and start teaching. And he was a personal trainer. So he just started off and like, man, the videos were not the best, but it was like his own project. And then my brother, Trevor, he's the middle brother. They would just do some videos together and stuff here and there. And then he was working on that channel for probably like 5 years with like little growth, a little bit of growth. And then literally just like one day, I think he was at like 15 or 20,000 subscribers. And then his channel just popped off. Like he went to like 100 really quick. And on his channel, he teaches calisthenics, mobility, movement, this type of stuff. And so that popped off. And like for me, I had always been like on the outskirts of it, like just doing a little help with stuff here and there. And then I got involved in a bigger way throughout the years, just doing a lot of video work for it. But it has been this project that's like, it's his passion. It's also all of our passions. Like, I'm a trainer as well. I teach strength and corrective exercise. And so, yeah, we just kind of had this thing that like we all like to do and that we can partner on. And yeah, that's how I fit into it. It's like, it's not really my thing. Mm-hmm. It's just that I have like the same or similar skill sets to be someone.
Well, that's a strong parallel to the Rob Bras, because if I had to pinpoint it, whose thing this was that we were doing the retreats, it's the one that wrote the book about it. Is me, the oldest brother. Timothy, not Trevor, but Timothy, we worked together on it for like 7 years. Fully committed. Nathaniel was on the outskirts, and Nathaniel became a wedding videographer and started a company called Wed Flicks that he recently sold. Pretty interesting. You said you think about 10 years ago Josh started that?
Yeah.
And so how old is Josh now?
He must be 37.
Wow, it is so similar. I think we might be like 2 or 3 years before y'all doing this.
Yeah, that's funny.
And I don't know how we didn't know each other, because one day someone was like, "Oh, that's the Strength Side brothers." Y'all were like Evan G or something. I was like, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
And I like looked y'all up and like, wait, what is this? This is crazy. How do we not know these guys?
Yeah. And so you kind of said that you led the charge with a lot of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then you brought them along. Or
Well, Timothy and I. And sometimes we fully teamed up on hosting the retreats for a few of the years. Timothy and I probably for about 7 years, and me, I kept going for about 11 years.
Okay, so it was your thing.
You love it. I do. And there's been a bit of a brewing that we might do one here in Boulder, especially with all these amazing badass sitters like yourself here in Boulder coming to the studio, and it's like something's being manufactured right now, and maybe another retreat.
Beautiful. But you haven't been doing them?
Nope. Not since the last one I did was in Sedona.
Okay.
I think it was in September 2019.
And are these like transformational retreats?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
And when you listen to Steph's podcast from yesterday, it was so transformational. It's hard. I would say all of our lives changed so drastically because of the meeting at the retreat where I met Steph and my daughter's mom, Diana, for the first time. And then like everything that happened from that. So like what makes me curious about, like, because we're having this conversation right now, how our lives are going to go into a new timeline out of the infinite ones, like, and what this conversation will catalyze in our new direction. I'm very fascinated by that right now.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And speaking of retreats, one of the also ways I've become familiar with you a little more is hanging out at the sauna at Ember and Ice. And we've had several previous guests, including some of the founders on the show. And
great guys.
Yeah.
Love those guys.
They're amazing. And they have an amazing like opportunity for us to upgrade our health as a community together.
Yeah.
And you recently, because I've done retreats, but you recently were hosting a workshop there.
I did, yeah. Qigong.
So, well, this might be a good time to learn about what you're doing currently and what you're up to.
Yeah. Well, man, it's been really interesting, actually. So I got into like corrective exercise and all the strength training and all that, like we were saying, like me and my brothers have been on this journey together. So, but like for me, I played college basketball.
Oh, cool. You are tall. What is your height?
6'5".
6'5".
Yeah.
How much do you weigh?
Probably like 185.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty.
I'm pretty thin.
I am as well, I think, especially from like the waist down. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So I messed up my back.
playing
really
basketball?
bad playing ball. And
Which college was this at, by the way?
I played at a junior college in California, College of the Redwoods, and then I played at a Division II Sonoma State in California.
Oh, okay, cool.
But yeah, I messed up my back really bad, and then that's how I got into like corrective exercise, because I was like, man, I gotta figure this out. Like when I heard it, I was like, I couldn't walk, you know, and I ended up playing, like finishing out basketball and stuff, but I was like pretty messed up.
How much did you weigh then?
Probably similar.
Okay.
'Cause I was like doing a lot of training
Okay.
back then. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
And yeah, so that's what got me into like looking at the body in that way, kind of like physical therapy style, I would say. And then I got really into stretching and mobility, and that was really helpful, like for a lot of stuff that I was dealing with. I was also just dealing with like crazy stiffness in my body, like I couldn't squat very well, right? And opening my hips was just really bad. Everything was just shit.
Okay.
So yeah, it's actually just like I got led to Qigong as like a way of working with my body and healing, you know.
What is Qigong?
So if you know what Tai Chi, like a lot of people know Tai Chi as like the slow, like martial art movement. Qigong is the root of Tai Chi, and it's the root of like pretty much all those Taoist arts, which is a lot of the slow moving stuff. But it just really like, it also depends on what school you're learning from, because it's like they're like ancient traditions. They come from different schools. And the school that I'm learning from is all about tension release and working with energy. And so Qigong, the style I'm learning, is like basically learning how to release tension, how to move in a new way where you're moving through tension release. And the way I like to describe it is like, it's almost like you're learning to move again. Like you're learning to walk again. You're learning to like do everything, you know? And it's all about posture and alignment. So it's changed my body like a ton, and it's helped me more than anything like I've ever done. I've done, all these movement systems, all this stuff. And then I find this and I'm like, oh my God, like this is healing my body like more than anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
And my understanding of life seems to be, if there was like a teaching or a learning pyramid, at the top of the pyramid is teaching. So it sounds like you're teaching this now.
Yeah, I am, but I'm still like, it's an interesting phase for me because I'm still fresh. I'm like 2 years in to learning this stuff. But I've been teaching movement for 10 years. So I think for me, like finding this and then like running with it is kind of what I'm doing. You know, it's like I'm not the best at it by any means. I'm just a baby in this realm, but I definitely have like a calling to teach it because it's so like potent and it's what I do. I mean, I help people with opening their body, opening the hips, relieving chronic pain. Man,
and the way you even move since I've known you and hung out with you in the sauna and here currently, you have an interesting way of moving. It's almost as, when I listen to podcasts, I usually listen to them at double speed.
Okay, yeah.
It depends. Sometimes someone can get me down to like 1.5 speed, like Jordan Peterson. But you seem like you're going at 0.75.
That's where I'm at. 100%. He's gonna have to like speed it up or something.
But no, I'm not even saying the way you're speaking.
Oh,
it's more about the way your body is moving.
Yeah, my friends call me a tree.
Really? Is this since Qigong or prior?
No, I've kind of always had like a subtler, gentler way about me that's just a little bit slower. Yeah.
Yeah, like I notice myself, I'm like, when I like pick up my pen, I'm like this, like 0.75.
That's hilarious, man. That's some good feedback. Thanks.
When you say feedback, do you think it's like meaning like it's a good affirmation, or meaning that you might
Just something that's here in
Okay.
the space, something that we're noticing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of what breaking normal is about noticing versus imagining
Yeah. Yeah.
and distinguishing the two, and then choosing your imaginations wisely or investigating
Because
and
this
find
stuff
out.
is strong, you know? It's like what you're thinking is creating your reality. So, yeah.
So is this like your business now? Like, cause it sounds like you're pretty busy with clients.
Yeah. Yeah. So I started a YouTube channel like maybe 4 years ago.
Okay.
And that was just partly because like Josh was doing strength side and I was helping him with that. And I noticed that my stuff was going a different direction, even if it's just a slightly different direction. I was like, well, I want to entertain that, like I want to see what there is for me there. And I've watched him build a YouTube business. I watched another friend build a YouTube business, and I was like, I helped both of them with that, like all this back end stuff. So I was like, I want to do this, like having your own business is like the way to create your own freedom.
This is exactly what Nathaniel,
Yeah.
this brother did.
Yeah.
With Wedflix.
Yeah. So I was like, I was psyched on it and I started it, and then it started with the stretching and flexibility stuff, but then my journey has just been like about much deeper healing for me. Like anxiety and depression, and like finding my way through that with like meditation techniques and psychedelics and stuff. So my path has just been like a little bit different, and so I wanted to just do that. And so really it was only like 2 years ago maybe where I started to, on my YouTube channel, just start talking about that stuff, the stuff that I felt was helping me more than anything. And man, I'm super glad I did. I was pretty scared just because I'm not an expert, I'm not a therapist or a counselor, but I was like, you know what, like this stuff has helped me a ton, and I want to voice it, especially when like maybe you've had similar experiences. I'm sure you have, like when you experience healing on a deep, profound level, like, and then, like for me, I just had this like intuitive, like I want to share this. I want people to know about this and like know that there's like a different way from like the classic medical system,
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
Art of Opening.
Art of Opening.
Yes.
YouTube.com/Art of Opening.
That's the one.
Is that the best place? Is that like your mainstream?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the best place for people to follow you.
Yeah, I would say just check some videos out and see what you think.
Cool, cool.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I used to use YouTube as my mainstream with Rob Ross. And now I have YouTube Daniel Eisenman.
I love Rob Ross.
Yeah.
That's the shit.
Yeah, have you ever watched any of the
No.
videos? Oh man,
I'm going to now, though.
I would be concerned to watch some of them, especially the earliest ones.
When's the last one you made?
That's a good question. Yeah, it got a little like different because we were all going in our different directions.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, it was a banana romaine smoothie. We were blending with our shirts off in the kitchen.
Nice. Is that like video one?
Yep. And that was the very
Video
first.
one's always the best. Like if you find people on YouTube, go watch their first video.
That good advice.
That's the shit right there.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a YouTube Daniel Eisenman, I believe, youtube.com/Daniel Eisenman. But this full video goes there. I'm pushing more the Spotify for the podcast because that's where I listen to most. Do you listen to podcasts?
Yeah, usually Spotify now.
What's your go-to? Do you have any go-to podcasts?
Right now, honestly, not really. I've been paying attention to you.
Oh yeah,
since we
have
met.
you listened to? You said you listened to some of the episodes.
I've like watched some of them. I've listened to some of the clips you put on Instagram. I love it. I like the guests you bring on.
Me too. Thank you.
Yeah,
and thank you for being
super cool.
One of them now.
Damn, how sick is that?
Oh man. Is there anything you want to make sure we talk about?
Well, I think what I have to offer is just talking about more of that healing realm stuff. you know, because yeah, we can talk about exercise and stuff, but the thing for me is like exercise is like you can learn from the best people in the world on YouTube, you know, and I'm not one of them. I know a lot. I can help people with that. I do help people with that. But really the healing stuff has been the stuff that's just like changed my life so much, you know. It's changed who I am. It's
Healing. So you're using that word for sure is relevant here. What are you healing from? You said, you know, you had some anxiety and depression, but was there a trauma of sorts or?
I mean, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Any like
Yeah.
notable ones that you want to maybe
Yeah.
mention?
Well, I think just growing up itself for some people is traumatic. For me, like my mom was alcoholic, and there's just a lot that's bound up in that. And then I think just a lot that was passed down from that as well. And you know, I got to somewhere in my early 20s, and you know, I don't think I'm special. Like so many people struggle with this, but like yeah, I just was at the point where I couldn't like get up from my couch. Like I was just
How old were you when that was happening?
it's probably like 23 or 24. And I think it's a common thing like for young men these days to have that experience, you know. And but yeah, I vividly remember just being like this can't be my life, you know. Like I can't live in anxiety like this. Like I can't things that this is not how I want my life to shape out, you know. And I watched my mom struggle with the same thing, you know, for my whole life. So I think something inside of me was just like, dude, we gotta figure this out, you know.
What you said a lot of young men are stuck on the couch as a symbol of sorts. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? And what got you off the couch?
Why? I don't know. I mean, I think our culture is pretty messed up, which I would think that you share some of those thoughts. Like, it's just we're growing up in a really weird way, you know? And I think that I left college basketball and just had no purpose. And that in combination with like having anxiety and like, you know, not having somewhere to put my energy, somewhere that was like true to my heart, you know? Yeah, I think for me, I was just struggling with that. And I think that it's getting a lot better, but a lot of people struggle with purpose and struggle with like, what am I doing? You know, like, what is this?
So what got you? What got you going?
I ate some mushrooms.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Thank God.
How many? Was this like? It's fun to hear. It was like one time, one thing get you like, did you take a big dose?
I would say not
what happened?
necessarily like no, but it woke me up. It woke me up like to like, and actually, so when I talk about this stuff, I always make sure to say like, it's not the psychedelics that are gonna heal you. It's your own introspection or heal. It can help you. It's your own introspection. And I think it woke me up to how I was keeping myself anxious and depressed. Like the ways that like my mind was just running in these loops. And then I got to like step out of the loop and be like, wait, like all of this is here, you know, like life is so beautiful and amazing. And I've just been keeping myself trapped. And that was so it's like it didn't like I would say it didn't change everything, but it was this very slow process of those like waking ups to how I'm just limiting myself and stopping myself,
Wow. And where does that correlate with like the YouTube thing going on?
This was a long time ago now. This was probably when I was like 21 or 22, maybe. This is probably like 8 or 9 years ago.
Okay. So similar. So like the part of your purpose then getting off the couch started becoming working with your brothers at that time. Is that correct?
No. That was later.
That was later.
Was probably like 3 or 4 years later.
Okay. Were they already doing their thing while you were having this sort of awakening?
Not really. Like Josh was probably starting.
Okay.
He probably had been doing YouTube for a year or two.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So then what did the mushrooms lead to? Like, were there some other big major steps of like, man, this has got you much more enthusiastic about the path that you're currently on? You mentioned meditation and psychedelics. Were there other psychedelics? Were there other experiences that?
Yeah, for sure. Meditation definitely, like it made me understand meditation better, of like what it's doing.
Mm-hmm. And what is that doing? What is it doing?
Wiping the slate clean, I would say. It's helping you like break those patterns and just be here, just be present with life, in every aspect of life. And everything's being brand new all the time. This conversation's brand new, even when I'm working with the same clients week after week, it's like, it's all brand new,
Yeah, I don't think anything happens twice.
Yeah.
And I so relate to the wiping it clean because, and I think it's in the book, but I speak about that like metaphorically. It seems like most people, at least in the past, they have a whiteboard for the day, like the schedule, like what their day is going to look like.
Yeah.
And they let everyone else paint it and they just put it on repeat. But in reality, it's actually, you can start from scratch.
Exactly.
Every day, any moment.
Exactly. And that's what, like, for me, I didn't know that. Like, I was very stuck, and I think it's cool to be here now where I am, because I can reflect on those times and know that I was just running those. I had that whiteboard that you just said, like that's exactly what it was. Is like everything was fit in this box and planned, and this is how it's supposed to be, versus like, what is it?
Yeah.
What is it today? What's gonna surprise me today? It's completely different, the mind frame.
Yeah, I know before we started pressing record, we were talking about Steph and what she's doing, the previous guest, and I told her she's driving across the country, but I didn't give you a clear answer because I don't think she knows. She's waiting. She knows she's going in that direction, and then she'll figure it out with her 2 kids, her cat and dog and dad.
How cool!
Yeah.
I like this person.
Yeah, man. Oh, I like you too. Oh, speaking of, you told me you were going on a date the other night.
I did, yeah.
And I saw your brothers like a few weeks ago. Are they both married or?
They're both married, yeah.
And do they both have kids?
Josh has twins.
Josh has twins.
Trevor has one on the way.
Wow. That's amazing. And you are dating then?
I am a single man.
Nice. What are you doing about that?
What am I doing about that? Try to go outside and meet people. But I'm comfortable with myself. I'm comfortable with where I'm at. It would be great to have someone. I would love that. But it's not like doesn't get me down super often. So I like to go to dance, try to meet people.
Oh, dance. What do you mean
outside.
Dance? You like to go to dance?
Static dance.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You go here in Boulder?
Yeah.
Cool.
Getting into like contact dance and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah.
Facilitating workshops is probably a good way to do that.
Yeah, man, just being in the community, you know, like I tried the dating app stuff. I tried it. It's just, man, it was hard.
Dude, what is hard about that? I am so curious about that.
I don't know. Some people it works. It works for.
But what is hard about it for you?
For me, it was like I can't really get like an energy read on someone, and so I would often go into dates where I thought that they were cute or attractive, and then I would get there and I'm like, oh, but I'm not like really attracted to you. You know, like you had some nice pictures, but and I think for me at least that's what it is it's this deeper thing, you know. It's not just the pictures and the cool words that you can write.
I once interviewed like a dating coach. I really wish I remembered her name. She's good. She was awesome. I think Amy or something. Well, but anyways, I remember her talking about online dating or the dating apps and how her number one advice is to always have a FaceTime before you go on a date. Did you try that strategy?
No, that's a good one.
Yeah, to always have
save yourself a lot.
Yeah, because it can be shocking how someone can look at like on a social media profile and then meeting them in all directions.
Very different.
Yeah.
Wow. But it's cool, man. I mean, there's a lot of amazing women around here. It's a great place to be dating.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm very like fascinated by this, like the sociology of the dating app world. And, you know, we were talking about maybe young men being stuck on the couch. I wonder, I feel like that's part of the factor. I'm not blaming dating apps, but there's a lot of like factors like porn, dating apps, the sheer amount of entertaining things someone can watch on their phone, whether it's like Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones, and then there's like 1,000 others. I don't know if there's many others as good as those two. And then it's like I was meant to ask you this. It might be a self-perpetuating cycle, because I think one of the best ways to feel terrible is to sit on your phone on the couch all day.
100%.
So maybe someone starts by getting a little addicted to porn, or maybe like scrolling through dating sites, and then all of a sudden they start to feel worse, not only because of the lack of results, but because they're on the couch on front of their phone instead of like the sun outside.
Yeah, totally. It's like it's so easy to do that.
It's easy.
So like we just get these dopamine hits like over and over and over, you know. And like I see you going outside and like doing shit in the sun, and it's like that's it. You know?
I see you as well.
Get up and like do some stuff, you know.
I saw you. I want to affirm you, because I saw you at the creek the other day.
Yeah.
And the creek, first of all, since I see that creek almost every day, I get to see the different patterns, seasons, phenomenons, and we're at the season now where you can catch some really good sun like in the creek at sunset. Like the hottest sun at sunset for now and a little longer is going to be like on the rocks in the creek. And I saw you the other day just sitting there on one of those rocks that was getting the last bit of sun. You just seemed like you were just hard chilling.
Oh, chilling hard, man. Chilling hard.
That's a rebellious act of health. Because most people, they just don't, it's like have you ever surfed?
A little bit.
All right.
Not enough.
So when I go to the beach with Timothy, and we're maybe at a famous beach that's a surf spot, like there's only a very small amount of people that like can look at the waves and be like, my goodness, that could be one of the funnest things in my life right there.
Yeah.
Where the vast majority of people don't even recognize that as a thing.
Right.
They don't recognize it as like this could be the funnest situation of their life if they paddled out there.
Yeah.
And then I kind of look at the creek that way. It's more subtle at the creek, but I'm just like, yeah, he's surfing the best waves at sunset right now, all the way. He is surfing till the very end of the day.
Yeah, man, the nervous system stuff, like, that was so some of the biggest stuff for me in my journey like the psychedelic work was amazing, but then I came across working directly with the nervous system, and that's what the Qigong stuff is. And what I realized for myself was like how jacked up my nervous system was, like completely messed up, just way overstimulated, and then that was leading to all the tension I had in my body, so I couldn't move. So that's what you see me doing is like,
That's the right spot at the right time right there.
right spot, right time, not on the phone, just bringing it down. And I would say it's a phase I'm in right now, is nervous system work. I still love the exercise stuff and all that, but I'm going really deep into it.
What's the highest lever for like when someone's like, wait, what does he mean nervous system work? What's like some low-hanging fruit or like something someone could do to start getting a taste of that fruit?
Man, yeah, is honestly, so it comes down to what you were saying, is like it's hard to do that. It's hard to go out. It's hard to sit with yourself, basically. Like, and that's what, so the nervous system stuff, for example, I didn't know that was my problem. And most people don't know that the nerves themselves are just messed up, too overstimulated. So first it's like making that connection. But honestly, like the work is really hard because a lot of it is like, can you do like a yoga nidra meditation, lying relaxation? Can you sit in stillness and like feel tension? Can you feel your nerves? Can you feel this stuff and like breathe and release? A lot of breathing stuff, which is a lot of what I teach now. Yeah.
I was doing my breath work. That's actually probably been my number one practice out of all things I've kept consistent in my life that I think are really good for me, specifically really good for my nervous system, is the breath work I do. Probably like 99% of days for the last 12, 13, 14 years. And I was doing that before, just laying naked in the sun on my deck, doing that before I got here.
Nice.
And then I went to the creek. Yeah. And then now here I am, tallowed up and doing a few other things. And
few other things.
Oh, by the way, I have tallow for you. Oh, first time that's happened. What do you got? Any towel? Not tallow, but towel. That's yours. The white chocolate one.
Thanks,
Did
brother.
that get on you at all?
No.
Oh, perfect. It's like this table is really flat. It's like a pool table flat. It's like the billiards right here. It's a great table,
It is a perfect table.
I cannot
to spill
believe
stuff
nothing
on.
went over. Okay, great. So now here we are. And but I noticed when I was laying in the sun, and I'm wondering what kind of breath work you do, because I do like a very much like what Wim Hof probably teaches. Like I do like I try to keep my dose to a minimum effective dose of like 3 sets, 33 breaths, and holding my breath for at least 2 minutes on each one, at least 2, and then like praying in the last one. But like sometimes when I get really like, there's something that happens to my nervous system where I don't know what I'm doing. Like in my arms, I start wanting to like turn the phone off or to stop the timer because I'm like so out of my mind, high on oxygen, I guess. But there is something I'm training with it seems like it allowed when I do that type of training, especially when it gets that intense, where I'm like, wow, why am I trying to turn my phone off when I'm trying not to move? I'm actually trying not to move so I can hold my breath as long as possible.
Yeah.
And like, why am I wanting to do these things? Like, I think awareness is the volume button of consciousness, and that helps me every day get in touch with that calm side of my nervous system.
Yeah.
Do you do breath work like that, or like?
I've done a lot of that. I don't do that style anymore, but yeah, I mean, I think that was actually a big part of like my beginning process, is like, dude, getting the amount of stillness you feel when you do that. When you do those breath holds and stuff, like
feel like I'm doing some sort of like this reminds me of Karate Kid. Like we're talking about these things and I'm just wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. My mom would be proud. I think she partly named me Daniel because of that movie.
But yeah, I mean, you can find a lot of stillness in that 2 minutes there, man. It's crazy, right?
I've done it a couple times over 5 minutes.
Damn.
But that's usually when I'm very warm and I've done, or like this is like my 5th or 6th set.
Yeah.
And I can get to the stillness where I like know not to move my face muscle. And I sort of black out. I don't know exactly where I go.
Yeah.
That's
definitely some blackout stuff with that, man.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I blacked out a few times.
I once did pull-ups and I ended up on the ground. I used to do push-ups, and I think it's safe as push-ups.
Yeah, I think Wim Hof says to do push-ups.
I did pull-ups. I was getting so into this. I did pull-ups, and all of a sudden I'm on the ground, and my Diana's like, "Why? What are you doing?" And I realized I had just like fallen, and I had no idea what I was doing. So yeah, I definitely recommend staying close to the ground. And that one, not that one. This one. Let's see if I can make it in the Target bag. My least favorite place on earth. Boom.
So tell me about how you started this supplement company.
That was during 2020. So in 2019, I started co-parenting instead of being in a marriage.
Okay, that's a big thing.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden the country shut down, like for traveling. Okay, I had a retreat planned in Patagonia for the eclipse in 2020. It was gonna be like Tribe Design 15 or something. And then all that happened, and then the country went to this chaos, and I spent time with my family, and then I realized, and then I just moved into like a mountain community house here in Boulder.
Okay. As
we were doing our co-parenting situation, like a week on and a week off with Davina, and then I realized I wasn't going to do retreats for a while. And
so that's like what stopped the retreat.
In a way, it was sort of time to take a pause, especially with Davina being the age she was. And I started, because I did retreats for like 11 years up to this point, and I had so many people that were like doing very well financially. Like, you gotta get a product and an email list, man. You gotta get an email list and a product. Like, and I most products I would never believe in.
Yeah.
And somehow an Israeli guy, what the freak is his name? I'm drawing a blank on his name. He while I'm living in that mountain mansion, it was an epic place. I think he had like seen videos, and he's like, "Hey, I'm in Boulder, or no, I'm in Colorado, like working at this Mustang sanctuary. And if you ever need any work or help, I'd be happy to help. I'd probably rather be up there with y'all than down here. Like this is amazing, but I've had enough. If you want to come down, take a tour of it, and then we can talk about it." And we went to this Mustang. Have you ever been to a Mustang sanctuary? They're nearby. I think this place was like an hour away. He gets us in this little off-road vehicle, drives us, and we're surrounded by 30 Mustangs in the wild. Yeah. Wild horses.
Wow.
And allegedly you can like adopt them for $25 if you have to like get some sort of license, but epic experience.
Cool.
And then I was like, yeah, come on up to the mountain. And then he brings these beef liver supplements. And I'm like, beef liver? I mean, that's a good idea. And then I look at it, I'm like, and then I realize, like, as time goes on, during like 2020, Ancestral Supplements, the Liver Kings brand, is blowing up. I think he's making, I forget the number, but maybe like 100 million. I've heard numbers, and I was looking at Amazon, and it was like maybe, I forget the number, but per month, I like use this like little Jungle Scout app, and I was like, per month, I was like looking at the numbers. I was like, this is absurd beef liver. And I'm like, this is beef liver from New Zealand. Like, I love they have no fillers or flow agents and all that. Like, genius idea, but why is it in a plastic bottle? And why are the organ meats coming from New Zealand dairy cows? Why? Like, that's a little, I'm like, probably because they have a great manufacturing process and it's cheap to ship the freeze-dried powders over instead of the organs. And it's just like a genius business model. And I was like, but I want bison. I want to take that supplement, but I want American bison liver. Because I spent most of the time I spent writing the book or making that book was in Yellowstone National Park. And I have like the utmost reverence for bison. Okay. Our biggest national mammal that's still here, that was here before humans were, before Europeans ever arrived, before cows or pharmacies or fences. There were bison, and they're still here in the wild. especially in Yellowstone. And I was like, that's the liver I want to eat. So, and I started trying to find a bison liver brand, and I can only find one huge brand that was selling a bison liver product that had like these fillers and flow agents. And I called them, and it wasn't clear that it was from grass-fed bison, because most bison are grain finished, I've learned.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, I'm just going to create the first 100% grass-fed, grass-finished bison liver brand, and so I can use it. And that's actually the medicine that I think my consciousness was craving for what I was going through, was like this resilience food medicine.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what for you, like, what was that?
I felt like I was part of a herd, like some sort of like herd. Like I felt like I was the herd. Like there is a bigger thing than just me, which the bison represents. Okay. And I am in the storm. We're going into it, and I am part of something much bigger than me. And it like something about taking that liver every day. And I know, like, you know, when a wolf pack or a mountain lion takes down a bison, they are going to get that liver first. Yeah. And the alpha is going to get the liver first. And I had to be an alpha in my context of what I was going through.
Okay.
And I've been taking it pretty much every day since I ended up at synchronicity. I'm a big sucker for synchronicity, and I ran in, like, somehow I got connected with the ex-wife of the CEO of Patagonia. I say that just to give context of where she's coming from. Like, Patagonia is one of the leading brands for bison awareness, and her life is committed to the bison. Somehow I got connected with her. She told me, I told her what I was trying to do, and she told me to make a bottle and a label. She's like, well, make a bottle and a label and try the product yourself, and then let me know. And I did that, and I was like, oh my goodness. And then I did a Kickstarter, and then here we are, like almost 5 years later.
Cool.
And I'm realizing like the liver is not the only medicine, like the heart, it's every organ. It's like it's like a full God's pharmacy inside the bison and other animals like the elk. And
so what for you, what did you notice the most? Is it energy levels?
I think I noticed a focus, a stamina, and my nails growing like crazy, and my hair growing, potentially my vision and teeth looking better, and my libido being higher, and not being hungry for crap.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not interested in crappy calories anymore. I'm like, I just take this stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. That's
wild. Like just getting proper nourishment.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes the most sense to me, because it's like this nourishment that like we're like deprived of. And that's kind of why I was drawn to it. I was like, yeah, I've never like eaten an organ before.
Oh yeah, that's like, the most important to eat.
Yeah, and like we don't have that in our diet at all.
Organs.
It's just crazy to me. Like I had never eaten until I had tried the liver.
I think it's very tied to like why mushrooms, you mentioned mushrooms and the rest of the psychedelics are very taboo, is because those are the most, psychedelics and organ meats are probably two of the most threatening foods to the pharmaceutical industry that exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my understanding, like when I found out, I think if I'm reading this right, that Hitler was storing he was gathering the organ meats and storing them, and some people say he was injecting liver into himself.
From the Jews.
Are you aware of this? Oh, okay. So I'm like, this is
liver from the Jews.
It's just like the fact that he was leveraging amphetamines and all kinds of things, but this stuff is effective. It's like a medicine, just like mushrooms change your consciousness. I believe organ meats do on a more physical, like a less psycho active level, but a more like physical, spiritual level.
Yeah. Have you like gotten that feedback from other people too?
Yeah. I mean, the feedback that I get the most the most compelling is from moms. They're getting their blood work done.
Right.
Because through pregnancy, and they're using it as a prenatal, and doctors are shocked of like, how did you get your iron like that?
Right.
How did you do that? Like, how did you last time I saw you? And it's like, I was just eating these bison liver pills.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me, and that carries over to people that are going through. Like, I remember a person told me they were canceling their blood transfusions because this was like fulfilling their anemic situations while they were going through chemo. I'm like, wow.
That's
And there
wild.
were 3 doctors that in the 70s that won the Nobel Peace Prize for curing anemia by feeding their patients raw liver. But like, once again, this is not what pharmaceutical companies or even some vitamin companies, because there's a lot of vitamin companies that sell manufactured iron for that purpose.
Yeah.
That's not the people have all kinds of issues with, like stomach issues and other side effects.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are some really cool people that promote the supplements to their tribe that are very much into like the bisons, the essence of the bison, consuming the essence of the bison instead of the cow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like indigenous, like that's what they would do, right? Like they eat the organs first.
Oh yeah. Well, all right. So we did a harvest. We did a bison harvest with Lakota tribe.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of particular things. We did like a whole drum circle sort of prayer song before.
Nice.
They made sure to put tobacco and sage in the mouth right away after the kill. And then they were very particular that the heart comes out and the person that shot the animal eats the heart first. Then the rest of the men eat the heart, and then the women eat the heart. And then the other organs are divvied up from there.
Wow. That must have been pretty eye-opening.
Yeah. A lot of people, I think, it was really wild.
When did you do that? Was that
That was
recent?
a few years ago,
Okay.
like maybe a couple of years ago. And we have another one of those on the radar. We're kind of, what usually happens because we're working with such small bison ranches at that time, there was a couple bulls that were becoming dangerous to each other. So one of the bulls had to go. And rather than like shipping it off to some facility, we could take it there.
Yeah.
And then it was like a full community experience where we like did it. Yeah, it was, and I want to do that again, actually.
Yeah.
Very impactful.
Oh, that's awesome.
Have you ever hunted or been? No.
No.
Are you interested in that?
I would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, and it became obvious too, because you're talking about like that's what the organs is what people want. Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you do that. You're not going to have steaks that night. Most people would want to dry age steaks somewhat, not like fresh from the kill, but what you can eat right there in that moment are the organs, and that's when they're the very best.
Yeah.
Like when we ate that liver there, it's
Did you eat it raw?
Yeah, I ate it raw. And it was like it tasted like hazelnuts and almonds, and
Really?
and everyone was high. Everyone was like invigorated. At first, a lot of people were really skeptical, but then everyone was just buzzing
Some
from
like
that.
life force.
Yeah,
just
like the heart was just pumping, and we all took like a bite of it.
Yeah,
And that's a big animal, a big healthy. That was the other thing. These animals, and I'm not sure if all bison are like that, but that animal from the supplier that we work with was like the healthiest, cleanest. It was like almost looked like the closest you could get to like the perfection of evolution.
That's really cool.
It smelled so good. Like, people, you would think like there was just basically the girls that were there, a lot of them, and some of the guys were just like after the bison went down, they were just laying on it and crying. It wasn't like gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. Extremely, that's an extremely sacred experience.
Yeah. That's how I would imagine it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we have a lot to learn from from this style.
Yeah, and the indigenous thing, the Native Americans that I have spoken with the company are just like in such reverence and support.
Oh,
There's been like a few white girls that are like, well, you can't call yourself Tribe Vitamins. Like, what tribe are you a part of?
Yeah.
And maybe my producer would know. I think I am part of some Israeli tribe.
Yeah. Your father is Jewish.
Yeah, I'm part of some tribes.
There's 12 tribes of the Jew.
Yeah, there's
Where
that.
Where your father originally?
My father is born in Vineland, New Jersey.
No, but
His father was like in Poland.
in Poland.
Yeah.
There's a Holocaust survivor.
Yes. Oh yeah. My grandfather, his dad, when my grandfather was a child, they made a potato garden in a graveyard and slept under the graveyard. They like somehow had like underground like barracks,
Mm,
and that's how they survived until they fled.
really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then my grandma, Yovel, you might be interested. She was a little girl, and she was allegedly stealing. All her family had just gotten killed, and she was stealing from the potato garden. And my I guess my great grandfather found her and was like, "You're staying with us." And then, so my grandfather and grandmother survived the Holocaust as little children, and then got married in the United
Whoa.
States.
That's wild.
Most of the Jewish that been in Poland, it's hard to know right now which tribe they've been, but most of them was Levi and Cohen tribes.
Hmm.
Levi, there is like bunch of family names, and Cohen as well. But yeah,
Yeah, I want to learn more about that history for myself because apparently my grandfather was like the amateur champion boxer in Berlin, and he sounded like a pretty tough guy.
I bet.
Yeah, and I mentioned this in the sauna, but y'all's last name is Hash, and you come from the Redwoods.
Yeah.
Does your family still live in Humboldt? Like,
I have a lot of family there.
oh gosh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
so
yeah.
funny to me.
Not in the weed business though.
No, they were never involved in the hash or
No,
weed.
at least
Okay.
not that I know of.
Okay.
But yeah, it was super funny growing up there with my last name.
I would definitely think my ganja guy would be named Mitch Hash from Humboldt.
Yeah.
What time are we on, Yabel?
56 minutes.
Okay, nice. Are you going to the sauna today?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
I might go after I get my daughter from school. It's so nice outside. It's her last day of second grade.
Last day of second grade. Let's go. I seen her busting out some like cartwheels and flips and stuff.
She is. I'm so happy to see her in doing these things at such a like at that age.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I still am aiming to learn that. Like I like
Yeah,
play
yeah.
baseball. I can't like
Same,
think
dude.
about doing back bends and like you
just
can do splits and back bends. Like just keep that. Keep doing that.
Yeah. Keep cultivating that.
Yeah,
You're gonna
exactly.
want that.
It's such a good foundation. And,
Yeah.
and I think that is because like if we circle it back to I don't know if you know Austin Einhorn, but Austin, the first guest Yavel connected me with, he was like such an advocate. Like the number one parenting advice from him was to unsupervised free play. And I think it's because I've allowed Davina to do that a lot, and we hang out with cool people. So
Yeah.
a lot of her friends are in gymnastics, and she's mimicking and learning.
She's just learning from
Yeah,
it.
and now she's in gymnastics, and you know I just watched her ballet performance last night. So freaking beautiful and eloquent. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Were you saying something?
No,
Okay.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So Boulder's great for that, and that park we hang out is so good for that.
Yeah, man. You just meet the coolest people there. You know,
Really special place that
Yeah.
we live in.
it is. It really is.
Um,
Can I ask you about your book?
Yeah, I can get the book real quick.
I can guess, but I'd rather ask, what's the premise you're working with here?
Oh,
Curious.
the title, Breaking Normal, Rewild Your Inner Child and Set the Truth Free. The premise is that, you know how you said the normal culture is broken? Yeah, how you said that? Or you didn't
Did I
say
say
those
that?
exact words, but you were saying how messed up
Yeah.
the normal culture is
Yeah.
in your own way.
Totally.
Yeah, I kind of feel like our like kind of dream opportunity as a human is to like sort of break through that.
Yeah.
Because there are all kinds of like prisons available, like the phone
Available.
prison,
Yeah, they're
the couch on the phone,
Yeah.
on the couch, watching porn, scrolling through dating sites, and binging on Netflix while it's sunny outside,
Yeah.
or because you're not sleeping at night. That can be a prison.
Oh yeah, man. For real.
So I don't think that like most people are not being hunted by predators like a lot, and not hunting for their food like most of our ancestors have been for the most of the time.
Yeah.
And I think it's really like how we were saying, it's so easy. It's so easy to be on that couch prison accidentally.
Accidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seemingly accidentally.
Yeah. You just kind of like end up there.
And there's a way to break through that. And I think that's by like being extremely honest
I love that.
with ourselves and with each other. Like
Yeah.
if I can talk to you how I would talk about you to my best friend,
Yeah.
then I think I have an opportunity for freedom with everyone I interact with.
Yeah. Cheers to that, man. I think that was one of like the greatest discoveries for me. Like having lived with anxiety, I was like so scared of people and like scared of saying the wrong thing. And then it's like, if you can just be as genuine and honest as possible, it's like, what do you have to hide?
Mm-hmm.
What could there possibly be to hide?
And I think when you have nothing to hide or less to hide, then you have more channels of creativity open.
Yeah, right.
Creativity, like,
'Cause
what
things
do
can
I want to
flow.
do? Like,
There's not this like block.
yeah.
You don't have this block of energy, this block of whatever. It's like it's all just open. Yeah.
And another way of phrasing that would be like really, I think this might be a bit of a guidebook to help people break their addiction to approval
Nice.
and get more addicted to like the freedom that comes with authenticity. Like whatever makes my heart butterfly more. Like, wow, like when I look at that person, I'm getting this like fluttery heartbeat that maybe I should go explore that. Like get more concerned about that than like trying to fit in.
Yeah,
Or
trying
what,
to be something.
or guessing what other people are thinking about me.
What a silly thing.
Yeah, like what, like if we have, I mean, if we have an amount of energy, I'm not sure if the best of energy is to be used to fantasize about what you think people might be thinking about you.
Yeah, man, and that's what I realized for myself is I was using so much energy to do that.
That's a lot. That can take a lot.
Oh my God, it takes so much. And you stop doing that and you're like, oh, I can, I can work out harder. Like, I can do so much stuff so much better.
And this is a
Crazy.
cool page to turn it to. This is Judge Your Judgments, chapter 8. Judge your judgments instead of
like
believing
that.
them.
Yeah.
And like it's so funny to me, like when someone's like, "Wow, you're being judgmental." Like when it's accusing someone of being judgmental,
Yeah.
that's quite judgmental. It's like you can't. What's the saying? You can't like point a finger at someone without three being pointed back at you. But yeah, I have like these little ideas that I aim to think about before each chapter, and this is a like fun one where we're talking about like to the degree that one fears judgment from others is the degree to which one judges others.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can watch that play out in life a lot. A lot.
That's why it's so silly to like gossip. I'm like, whenever someone like starts gossiping to me, I'm like, oh, okay, you're like telling me a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
Not much about the other person. You're actually usually making me more interested in the other person, and you're making me a lot less interested in you.
Yeah. So you're basically it sounds like a lot of that is like a self-inquiry process.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching how you are behaving and interacting and just being like an observer of that.
Yeah, I think it's like a great mirror in that way. But I also I go through like I was like asking you like what are your highest leverage things for this nervous system harmonization, because that's what the book I give a lot like the best exercises that I've ever experienced to connect a group of people in a way they've deeper than they've ever been connected. Like especially if everyone's on board. Like this is like a fun retreat, family, date exercises, things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
One of them being the naked exercise that we were talking about prior to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Well, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man.
What's the best place? Like if someone wants to reach out to you, what should they do?
Well, check out Art of Opening on YouTube, and then all my links and everything is on every single YouTube video. So just watch a video and see if it resonates. And if it resonates, just click one of those links. You'll find all of it. If it doesn't resonate, that's totally fine.
Did you try that? I know I spilt the beer when I was trying to give you that.
I haven't
towel.
tried it.
Have you never tried the white chocolate?
You gave it to me once. Maybe not the white chocolate.
Tell me what you think about that.
What am I supposed to do with this?
I would put it anywhere you want to.
Put it anywhere I want.
And definitely put it on before the sauna, and definitely put it on while you're in the sun.
While I'm in the sun.
Because like then it cooks all those nutrients.
Like right now.
It cooks all those nutrients in there. Yeah, we're about to be in the sun here in a moment. I think it's still sunny out there. I think.
You're the only person in the room who don't use that day.
Maybe.
Well, now I do.
Yeah.
Check this out.
That's our best seller, the white chocolate bison tallow
That's some
balm.
good stuff, man. White chocolate.
Yeah, it's really good after the sauna
Ooh.
because the sauna can be a little drying out too.
Mhm.
Colorado's already high and dry the way it is.
Yeah. Grass-fed, baby.
Yeah, that's the pure kidney fat from the American bison from the supplier that I was talking about. We did our harvest at.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, nice, clean, and pristine bison, and that's just the kidney fat with the organic emu oil, and then a low organic organic vanilla and chocolate essential oil.
Beautiful. So you didn't say where you source the bison. Is it like around here?
That's coming from a ranch that's about 90 miles from here.
That's dope, man. I love that.
It depends on the product, but they're all coming currently from the United States. We once got some testicles from elk and bison in Canada,
Cool.
but everything else is USA,
US.
baby,
Sweet, man.
including the elk antler.
The elk antler. Yo, I tried that and you were right. You, you were like, I was like, what? Like, tell me, like, what is this good for? And you were like, do this before a workout. And I took it and I wasn't planning on working out. And then like 3 hours later, I was like, oh shit. And then I went to the gym.
Yeah, I've heard that, especially for first-time users.
Yeah,
I've had
dude,
people like, this is better than Viagra.
It was palpable, dude. Like I felt it like starting to move a bunch inside of me. Like my energy started to flow.
They're powerful animals, and that's the fastest growing organic material on an animal in the world.
Yeah,
is the antlers from a deer. And elk are, I think North American elk from Wisconsin are cooler than for us, better for us than Chinese deer antler or whatever else that might come in there. So yeah, we aim to do everything here as locally and best as we can.
Yeah. Thanks for doing that, man.
Yeah, I'm happy you like
this
stuff, and I'm excited to see what happens from here. Maybe we'll get Mitch to be part of this Breaking Normal Boulder Bash that's on the radar.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate
Keep
you,
breaking
brother.
normal, y'all.